That was The Dawn on Attraction. And there's definitely a ton of great points in there. I hope you're taking some good notes. A few things that I want to cover or come at a slightly different angle here. The Dawn was talking about the attraction switches. So let's go over what those are for a moment. And, you've probably read Magic Bullets or the Magic Bullets Handbook. That was the book that introduced all of these attraction switches and explains why they're there and how you use them and so on. But really quick review. First one is looks and health. That's pretty straightforward. Looks, what your looks is as a guy is much more dependent on your fashion and grooming than what you look like naked. So if you think your looks are anything that's going to stand in the way of you attracting beautiful women, really a one day and a trip to the mall and into a good place where you get a good haircut, and that's totally taken care of. If you don't have an experienced guy to take you, some of our instructors do fashion consultations. They'll actually take you to the mall and get you sorted out. But any guy can be good looking enough that he can attract most women. It's one of the advantages of being a guy, because it doesn't work the other way around. And Love Systems instructors are a great example of that. Definitely not all of them are what you consider good looking guys. A lot of them are a little short. One of them, a newly promoted instructor after the super conference by the name of Mark V, actually has one arm. So, if you're having a pity party that, you're never going to be good looking enough to go attract beautiful women, go tell it to the one-armed guy who's, picking up girls left and right. And, he's definitely one of the best pickup artists and dating coaches in the world. I mean, it's not easy to become a Love Systems instructor. So we were pretty excited about his story. So looks and health are number one. Number two is social intelligence. The Dawn talked a lot about that, and that's a really crucial one. It's one that really you're going to get by practice. Whereas looks and health you can fix in a day, social intuition or social intelligence happens by repeated practice. And that's why I started talking at the beginning of this DVD set about going out and using this material. Humor is the third one, and that's kind of in between the two. Right. I mean, if you don't naturally have a great sense of humor, there's a lot of great resources to read up on that. Or even Big Business, one of our master instructors runs a one-day seminar on humor, improv, and attraction. So if you're a guy that doesn't naturally think on his feet very well, I'm certainly naturally like that. I used to spend most of my life going, damn, what I should have said last night when she said this? So, that's a lot of those skills ended up being form part of Love Systems. But there's an interview on it. There's a lot of even some blog posts that I've written that are good resources on building up a sense of humor if you don't naturally have one. And pickup humor is not the same as general humor. They overlap a lot, but you're going to want to go easy on the self-deprecating humor. You're going to want to go easy on the clownish humor, and you're really going to want to have a variety of different types of humor. You're not going to be the one-note guy, because that gets old very quickly in a dating context. So you got those three, and those are sort of things about you. We call those the attributes. But then there's a couple of things that are sort of things that you have. And these are a couple of things that people traditionally focus on with women and attraction, and they are important, but they're not the whole story. And those would be status and wealth. And there's, status is a more interesting one. Wealth is what it is, but status can be in a relative sense as well. And that's why social proof, which we're going to come up to, and it's one of the next few talks, is so important because, it's creating status within a nightclub or creating status within a bar or even within a coffee shop. Within whatever local tiny environment you're in, you can have relative status as well as, the type of overall status that you might have as a celebrity. But, I remember a couple of years ago, I walked into this bar in San Diego, and it was a bar that I'd been to a few times, so I knew the bouncer, and he kind of just waved me in, shook my hand, tapped me on the shoulder, bypassed the line. And when I approached these two attractive women later on in the night, they remembered seeing me go through, and that already made them more receptive. Now, that's not going to get you anywhere by itself, but it's, the whole thing about Love Systems is it's not, or the whole thing about my book, Magic Bullets, it's an ironic title. There is no magic bullet. There is no one thing that you do that's going to get you the girl. There's about 1,000 things, and if you do enough of them, you're going to get the girl. There's no such thing as a perfect pickup. And there's no such thing as a magic bullet. But you got to do as many things as you can right, and that increases your odds of getting the girl. So that's your status and your wealth. And the last three are kind of interesting because these are sort of outcome measures. These are, all right, a guy's got these 5 things. What else is he likely to have? And those are confidence, pre-selection, and being a challenge. If you take the example of a guy who's, he's got a great sense of humor, he's got social intelligence, he's great looking, he appears to be this very powerful, high status, wealthy or at least rich man, but he seems desperate, has no idea what to do with women. It just doesn't fit. And that's why, and women can smell incongruence a mile away. That's why women will give you all sorts of, what we call tests when you first meet them, is they'll try to put you on the defensive just to see how you react. Because you're coming up, with your confident persona, and you've got your routines, and you know what to say, and you know how to make her feel a certain way. So she's going to try to break you out of that and go, okay, is this for real or not? And that's why she'll test to see, are you confident? Are you pre-selected by women? Are you a challenge? And in fact, it almost works backwards. Women will notice a guy who's got confidence. Women will notice a guy that pre-selection just means other women are attracted to you. Women will notice a guy that other women are attracted to. A lot of them will deny it, but trust me, this stuff works. Women will appreciate a guy that's a challenge and get bored when a guy isn't a challenge. And it's not because any of these things are inherently attractive. And in fact, a guy that other women are attracted to, most women would logically, not think that's attractive. But it works because on a fundamental level, women are used to guys that have got these things. If a guy is confident, if he's a challenge, if he's pre-selected by other women, usually he's got a lot of stuff going for him. You don't find a lot of 40-year-old virgins that, are really all that confident around women and are a major challenge and that other women are always hanging off of. So usually there's a reason why guys have what they have. And so we kind of short-circuit that a little bit in love systems. And we're like, look, I don't care if you're confident. I don't care if other women like you. I don't care if you're a challenge. We are going to make it seem like you've got those 3 things so that you do attract women. And then you will start to have them naturally. So we kind of, work outside in as well as inside out. So it's important to know. Those attraction trigger switches, by the way, also, it's a guideline, not a straitjacket. Some women are very attracted to intelligent men. Some women are very attracted to artistic men. Some women are going to be very attracted to men that, are great listeners or, they've got other things going for them. Sure, every woman's different. The attraction switches are really useful for a beautiful woman, not just, normal, not just sort of your run-of-the-mill girl, but, an attractive woman that you don't know anything else about. So here's sort of your starting point. You might talk to her and, she might be one of those women that really just, doesn't care at all about wealth, say. I mean, some women are like that. Great, you make some adjustments. But, if you don't know anything about her, those are the triggers that you're going to try to want to hit. So I want to leave on 2 final points about attraction. The first is don't overdo it. Don't be the dancing monkey. Don't be a clown. Love systems in general and attraction specifically is really as much about what you take out of your game, what you don't do, as what you do. So, you're not... it's not the variety show that, you're constantly entertaining or whatever. You got to have the confidence to build in some pauses. Have the confidence to be the kind of guy that doesn't have to try too hard. Because try hard is very unattractive to women. And the second point is kind of related to this, which is assume that she's attracted. It's a little paradoxical, but while you're attracting her, assume that she's already attracted. It's going to make your mannerisms and your tone and your choice of material a lot better if you keep that in your head. And you'll find, again, that attraction is actually surprisingly easy once you get going. The bad news is that you're going to have to solidify that attraction with good work and qualification and comfort. But fortunately, it's what we got coming up in the next DVDs.